This episode of the Rants of Izzo Show is brought to you by Spreely.com. Do you want to speak freely? Do you want to go to a social media platform or a news media outlet, not be led around by the nose by crap that you know isn't true and it's just spin by your political favorite persona, talking head, Rachel Maddow, anybody over at Fox News? Go to Spreely.com, Spreely TV. Download the app for your smart TV and download Freedom Hub for your smartphone. And today is Friday, so it's brought to you by Flex Your Feminine. Are you a little bitch, but you don't want to be a little bitch anymore, and you're a woman? You're like, I just need to get in my feminine. It's not embrace my masculine anymore. I don't know how to do that. FlexYourFeminine.com. FlexYourFeminine.com. Do it, because you owe it to yourself and your husband. Let's have a show.
Prepare yourself.
The opinions of the host and guests on the show are exclusively just that, opinions. That means that they shouldn't be the cause of your state of being offended. Why does everybody get so butthurt?
Okay, let's go. Ready, go!
Sit down, shut up, and pay attention.
Damn!
This is the Rants of Izzo Show with your host, Dominic Izzo, from porn to politics. We touch every third rail we can find. You might want to put your headphones on so your mom can't hear this. It's been called the most entertaining 60 minutes on the internet, and it starts now. Let's do this.
Yeah, it's Friday. Welcome to the Rants of Izzo Show here on Spreely TV. Looking over in the chat. Let me see here. Sarah Nichols, how are you? Bev! April Schoen. All the way down here. Morgan, Kelly Wilson, and Kayla Brooks, you're in there. It's so nice that you're actually getting the chat involved with everybody. Oh, how about I unmute you? There you go. It'd be even better. Make you part of the show. Sorry, I was updating my it's morning by you still. Yeah, I was updating my Instagram because people were like, dude, I went from 238.3 to 230 pounds in 12 days because carnivore diet again. It's an insane damn diet. Do you have, I don't know. Do you have experience with that at all?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My husband is carnivore.
I don't get cravings on carnivore diet.
No.
People are like, how do you, because I'm a pastry hoe. Like if you stick donuts,
You're a sugar slut.
No, I'm sure. I was told this. I went to an Anthony Robbins seminar in 2009. I walked on fire, all that shit. This is how he dumbed it down for the audience. And I don't know if you can explain this any better, but you have white blood cells in your body, and white blood cells go around and they like attack the parasites and get rid of them or whatever. He said they did a test to determine the whole alkaline and acidic aspects of your body. And they took a subject and gave him a glass of concentrated orange juice. And while he was doing this was like a 5-hour presentation. While he was explaining that, they explained how concentrated orange juice was made. It wasn't like freshly squeezed. It was like going through the process of all this shit. And he said 15 minutes after the person consumed the orange juice, they took the blood sample, and put it under a microscope. And the first previous blood sample showed the white blood cells very active, moving around the body, grabbing the parasites. And they said that the second one, the white blood cells were like moving at a snail's pace, and the parasites were attacking them. And he said something that was really weird. They talked about like food cravings, or like if you ever, he said, how many of you have ever had a banana and then you've craved the second one? And I mean, maybe a couple people raise their hands. This is like an audience of 5,000. And he goes, how many of you have had a whole bag of chips or fries and you still could have more? Like every one of us, right up. Because it's because there's no nutritional value in that. The banana goes through your body and your body's like, yeah, I got what it needs. And he said, and the way that I'll paraphrase it was, that's why you get these cravings when you drive past McDonald's. It's kind of like not just the same of the marketing and this and that, but it's like your brain is signaling to the parasitic activity, hey, it's time for it to wake up and feed you. And I read about that. I'm like, that's massive. With the carnivore diet, I mean, it's my dad and I. And he eats how he eats. He's 74. He's good. Guy's got fucking perfect blood pressure, doesn't work out, eats like shit, all this stuff. He's going to live to be 90 and is what it is. He has donuts. I look at him yesterday. I'm like, no. But normally me, donuts. And I got, there's a chocolate donut. I got to do? I got to put some peanut butter on it and heat it up in the microwave for 10 seconds. But that's not, I'm like, that's gone. So what is your experience and your husband's experience or your client's experience? Have you ever seen some like massive success for people who have had food addictions switch to carnivore and they're like, wow, I'm not addicted anymore?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So my husband, actually, we were just having this conversation with my mom because my mom and my dad, because my dad is coming up against some of his first health challenges. He's going to be 65 next year. And he's always been like, super high metabolism, gets away with eating whatever he wants, kind of like what you just explained about your dad, right? And he's a John Deere salesman. He was literally the number one salesman for John Deere in the entire company last year. So my dad is kind of a badass, but he's always go, 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 like 2 cups of coffee in the morning, eat whatever you want out on the road. You're driving out to job sites. You're meeting with ranchers. You're meeting with farmers, the good old boys of this country. And then they go out for steak, together to have dinner. You know what I mean? So he eats a mix of fast food and then like really good food. He loves his steak, he loves his butter, but he had a recent little bit of a challenge with some things. And so Joe and I were just talking to them about, I really think that you should consider going carnivore, at least for a while, and the reasons why. And Joe is explaining, my husband, sorry, I don't think I usually use his name. So yeah, Joe, there you go, guys. Joe is explaining that he has always had quite a sweet tooth. And that was just something that he would like white knuckle through when he was doing restrictive diets in his 20s. But once he went carnivore, which was right after the holidays last year. So it's been almost a year. But he noticed immediately a huge shift in not only the quality of his sleep, but the amount of cravings that he just wasn't having anymore for all of the sugary, carby, those like emotionally, mentally satiating things that he used to have cravings for, that he would just white knuckle. And now he doesn't need to white knuckle it. It's like now he eats his food, his steak and eggs and butter and whatever. And like, there's no cravings anymore. And he sleeps like a baby.
I tell everybody the first thing, and it's like carnivore immediately affects me. I don't intentionally fast. I get up and I just don't eat anything for hours. And I think it switched from mental because I did get up and I'm like, let's have breakfast. And I used to eat the same thing, eggs, bacon and toast. And it's just, even if I limit it to one piece of bread to sop up that yolk, I would be bloated. One piece of bread. And then I went to making my homemade bread and I fucking love that. I felt good on it, but I'm at this big, no carbs at all. Because I watched I'll give her credit. I watched a guest that Dr. Gabrielle Lyon had on, and he had said, and maybe you can correct this or walk into it, but I just watched a clip and he had said that, as humans, we need protein, we need fats, we do not need carbohydrates. Now, is that correct? I see.
Yeah, that's a really, really big selling point for the carnivore diet. I've heard it for years and I understand. What I will say is I understand why they're saying that and the mechanisms that they use to perpetuate that claim. I don't agree with it because we have glucose receptors in our body for a reason, and our body can create glycogen and all that good stuff from protein, but it is a very high maintenance, a very metabolically taxing process to get there versus just allowing protein to be protein instead of your body having to turn it into a source of sugar, glycogen for
Yeah, 'cause that's
all
something-
that. Your brain needs a lot of sugar, guys. Like your brain needs sugar to properly function. And now my big caveat with saying that is 99% of people, I believe, are not well enough adapted and healthy enough at a mitochondrial level to be able to qualify for carbohydrates at an appropriate level in their diet. And that's the big caveat. I believe that something like carnivore is an excellent strategy, not for necessarily lifelong dieting lifestyle, okay? But it's an excellent strategy in the short term to get you at a more metabolic, a better metabolic sovereignty level where your mitochondria is actually functioning properly. And diet is not the only aspect of having that conversation and making that switch in your cells. I mean, it is a cellular level that we're that we're talking about. So I really am a big proponent. Like I actually have one of my clients that I'm walking through entering a short sprint. I call it a short sprint phase of going carnivore so that we can reset some of her receptors and get her more sensitive. Her leptin levels need to heal. Her insulin response needs to heal. Her cortisol levels need to heal. All of that is definitely possible. It's not a I hate the buzzwords like, oh, detox, quick fix. Let's do 30 days of carnivore and then you're going to be set.
No,
like that's not the goal here. It's really not the goal here. It's a much bigger conversation with a lot of nuance.
When
but
you say short
that's
term,
how I like to use it for women because, and men too. Like I say, my husband's carnivore, but technically I guess he's a little bit more animal based now than he was the first half of the year because he will once in a while introduce like whole fruit, avocado. Like technically things like avocado is a fruit. It's not technically on the carnivore diet, but he does do that kind of stuff. So it's a little bit more animal based versus carnivore. Technically, it's not the lion diet that some of you might be familiar with.
Yeah.
So that's my perspective is going animal based for my girls strategically and not for long periods of time and in alignment if they are hormonally cycling with their menstrual cycle, in alignment with certain things about their menstrual cycle. It's extremely important in order to get your mitochondria firing properly and responding properly to the cues that our modern world and modern food industry just keep hold hostage from us. We have to get back to that place.
So you can kind of, or maybe should cycle the carnivore diet. So there's a point where you maybe 6 months or a year, you get your weight under control, then you eat responsibly. Because
Thank you.
Okay.
That word. Yeah. We're not going to go carnivore for a month, 6 months, a year. Get yourself where you at your goal. And then we're going to go back to eating McDonald's and think that everything's fine. You know what I mean? Like you have to eat responsibly. And if you're going to change, heal the way that your mitochondria responds to the stimulus that you're giving it in food, in exercise, in lifestyle habits, you should be craving that instead of things like McDonald's that you used to be craving or something like a donut. So from there, like the responsible choices are going to be more animal based because it's more ancestrally appropriate to the way that we are created and designed to be fueled by. So
I'm starting to notice components and like synergy. And people were asking me, what are you eating on carnivore? So I did a really quick, stories update on my Instagram. And that's why I was late to the Zoom here. But, this time around,
I forgive you.
That's okay. I appreciate that. I really didn't care less. Fucking, I'm starting to notice like when I first went through a real big weight loss transformation back in 2022, I was huge. I was bloated. And in 40 days, I had abs. And people were like, what the hell? What are you on? This and that. And 100%, I'm not joking. I didn't change my test levels. I didn't take a fat burner. I didn't change my diet, and I didn't change anything I did at the gym. I didn't introduce cardio or anything. All I did was come off social media for 40 days. That's cortisol and stress, right?
Yeah.
This time
dopamine
around,
receptors. Yeah.
unbelievable. So this time I lose 8 pounds in a matter of like 10, 11 days. Well, I'm really not at the gym that much because I started coaching wrestling. This is the first second week of it, but it doesn't mean that I'm rolling around on the floor because I'm not as active as I used to. If I go a full minute with some of these kids, that's a long time for my body to handle. I can't, even standing on my feet, being on the mat, kind of coaching kids, I find myself waking up the next day going, the bottom of my feet are killing me. My elbows are killing me. So I'm not in the gym as much. So no real gym. I did change to a 5x5 almost powerlifting routine, which is so that's only 3 days a week in the gym. So scratch gym, no testosterone change, no cardio, but all I did was carnivore diet. I have to wonder the massive success when you put all these things together. Manage your stress levels, manage how you eat, implement fitness, and how those 3 things right there can make the biggest difference in someone's life.
Yeah. And I would even go further and say it's not, stress management is kind of a buzzword, especially in the self-development community, or a buzz term, but I don't really believe in stress management. I believe in building up your nervous system's resilience and capacity to handle stress, because let's be real, especially for us control freaks, we can drive ourselves crazy trying to manage everything, right? This world is stressful and it's not going to get any less stressful. You cannot manage, you cannot control the amount of stress that is available to hit you between the eyes in this world. You can, however, build up your emotional, mental, nervous system's capacity to handle stress and become more resilient. That's my belief.
Can you, I'm sure you can, because look, I want to play a video that you sent today, but I want your opinion first. I think that you probably know a great way to manage that and control that. And when Rachel and I first started talking, she was impressed with the fact how Christians, above most people, have this ability to almost like water off a duck's back. And I said, yeah, because when you know what the end result is and where you're going, none of this shit matters on earth. Do you think that there's any type of stress relief, or everything you just said can be found at a base of faith? Because I don't care about politics. I don't care about death. I don't care. I know where I'm going. And that's the end goal. So for me, it's like, I'm really not that stressed about shit anymore. Do you think that that's a good foundation? And shit, can you sell the idea of Christianity and stress management or weight loss? There's a connection.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, our stress and inflammation are interconnected, and the root cause of all disease is inflammation. So you can really wire that backwards, follow the rabbit trail to stress being the cause of all disease. And stress is really, vibrationally, it's really on the same level as fear. So, what we're told in scripture constantly, I don't think the claim that 365 is actually correct, but it's pretty darn close. If you look at the various ways that the phrase is used, do not be afraid, thou shalt not fear, that kind of thing. There's a reason for it at an alchemical level and a vibrational level. And there's a reason for casting all your cares on him. And why that is so profound and powerful for our nervous systems. He knows how we were created. He knows that we're not designed to literally take on the weight of the world the way that he did on the cross, right? So there's a huge component there to finding the peace in the storm through your faith. And from there, though, I'm a firm believer in, yes, cast all your cares on him, so to speak. I think that's from Proverbs or Psalm, something like that. And you also have to then walk in the faith of having cast all of your cares on him. So you have to still walk it out. You can't just spiritually bypass and gaslight yourself into thinking, oh yeah, everything's fine. I know how this story ends, and then just sit on your couch and eat Doritos and wait for the rapture. Like, that's not the life that he desires for you, and it's not the life that he's trying to give you by you, quote unquote, casting all your cares on him and living in faith.
Wow,
so the point is to then walk it out. Spiritual walk is a action oriented, aligned action oriented practice. It really, really is a practice. So I think that's huge, and it takes the as above, so below dynamic, where we have the spiritual, not really tangible necessarily, can't touch it, can't grab it, feelings, mental space of the spiritual as above, and it brings it back down to earth where we walk it out practically and in action and take that aligned action to live in a state of less fear, more faith, and cast our cares on him so we don't carry that load and our nervous systems aren't tapped out to where we can't do any good in this world and affect change. Because we have dominion. We're given dominion, and we're given dominion to steward his creation all around us. So
I still, as a Catholic, have a hard time with that concept. It's like, what do you mean I have dominion? Fucking, I was told I'm fucking worthless. Can you plug, by the way, talk about Flex Your Feminine if anybody does have information or wanted more information on the carnivore diet or anything else along the lines of that? Go ahead and plug Flex Your Feminine and talk to people about how they can get a hold of you.
Yeah, so I work with women exclusively. Sorry, gentlemen, but if you have a woman in your life that you would like support and accountability and help for in a very pro-masculine way, then reach out to me. I've got actually a lot of husbands and boyfriends and fathers that pay for their daughters and wives and girlfriends coaching with me. So it's really beautiful provision. But Flex Your Feminine is a women's wellness ministry that I started specifically for women to keep in mind and really designed around our hormone cycle, because the fitness industry doesn't account for that at all. And we take like the best of all worlds, right? And we mesh it into this periodization that is our menstrual cycle and our period, ironically. And a lot of what you've heard me share this morning with Dominic is definitely what I integrate in more of my private containers for women that need some more customization. And overall, we have a very animal-based, ancestral, fertility-based focus with our nutrition, whether you're trying to conceive or not. At a certain stage in life, fertility markers is just your fifth vital sign. So if you're not taking care of that, you're not healthy, regardless of whether you want to conceive or not at a certain point. And then we take our training very, very seriously. We're acting as if and walking in faith and putting it into practice as a way to build resilience and handle that stress that we're inevitably going to be faced with. So it's a lot of fun. But you can find me on flexyourfeminine.com or flexyourfeminine on Instagram, and we can chat more.
All right, let's talk about this. You sent me this. This was a cool one. Should Christians believe in aliens and UFOs? And I think it's awesome timing that you sent this, because they're gonna do something, dude. And you also texted me? I didn't get to watch it, but you texted me a congressional hearing on UFOs. And did you watch any of it? Mm-hmm. Oh, good. I want to hear what you have to say about it. But let's listen to this first.
It was very interesting.
All right, here we go. This is, should Christians believe in aliens and UFOs?
Flow hat take on Christians and aliens incoming. Don't write me off here. Okay. So government officials testified this week about documented UFO sightings in the sky, but also in the ocean underwater. So here's the question, Pastor Josh, do you believe in the possibility of aliens? Well, here's what I for sure believe in. The possibility of demons posing as aliens. All right, two creepy facts from the Bible on this. So they testified to UAPs, that's unidentified anomalous phenomenon, in two places. Number one in the sky, number two in the ocean. Well, number one, Ephesians 2:2 calls Satan and demons, quote, the prince of the powers of the air. You say, yeah, Josh, but what about him being in the ocean? Well, when Jesus cast demons into pigs in Matthew 8, they immediately ran underwater into the Sea of Galilee. But also, When Revelation 13 describes Satan and demonic forces rising at the end of time, guess where it says they rise from? Okay, tinfoil hat take on Christians and aliens.
And yeah, I believe that. Whoa, there was a movie. Oh, I gotta hang on a second.
You mentioned that movie to me quite a while ago, and I watched it.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, I can't remember what it was called. It was one of the scariest movies I've ever seen because I don't watch scary movies. Are you fucking
kidding me? I will get right. This is how I have to do this. I have to go to Lean On Me. So for this is how. Have you ever played the game 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon? I used to be really great at it. I could take any. You could name 2 actors like Harvey Keitel and I don't know, Laura Flynn Boyle, and I could connect them in a movie together because I used to be a real big movie guy. Okay, so Michael Beach played Mr. Donnell. I remember him. So he was in that movie. So I'm going to go to Michael Beach. I'm going to click on his movies and show tunes, and I'm going to look at the what he was in. Let's see. Movies he was in. It wasn't Inheritance, was it? No.
No.
SWAT, Rusty Bridges. I have to look at this. I'm just going down the catalog of his videos, movies. Asunder? No. Chicago Pete, Crazy Town. What? This is ridiculous. I just saw
it wasn't like a very big movie.
No, it was a low budget one.
Yeah, but it was legitimately, and it's probably because of how I see
Eminence. Eminence.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go to YouTube, and I'm going to play audio from this is what I saw this, and I was like, dude, I want to watch this. And he talks about, what do you call it? Devil in the Sea. Here. All right. This is from Eminence. This is audio from it. Yeah, this has got to be it, isn't it? Yeah.
Why did you take us?
Oh, that's a different thing. Whoa, I played that before. That was weird. Whatever, dude. I'll find it.
Is that not? That's not the movie.
No, that was not it.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can.
East, from the ocean. He talks about Satan being from the ocean in Eminence, and it was a cool thing. Satan being from the ocean. There you go. What the hell? Yeah, if you've ever seen it or whatever, it was a great explanation that he talks about it. And he says that he opens up the Bible and references Revelation, and he talks about how we got like 90% of the ocean is not explored, and that kind of blows me away. And then if you look, where are the 4 angels supposed to be unchained from in the end times? Do you know where that's from?
4 angels. In Revelation, they're referenced in Revelation.
The Euphrates River.
Yes. Okay. Euphrates River, but it's not. How do I put it? It's like deep under the Euphrates River.
Yeah, dude. You know again, more sea, and I bet you the Euphrates somehow catches the ocean.
Right.
So it blows me away. Eminence film discussing Satan from the ocean.
I'm pretty positive it was Eminence. I'm trying to find it.
It was weird. It was Eminence.
Just over the cliff of the continental shelf now.
Oh, here's the audio. Okay, it's really low and it's hard to hear. I'm going to turn the volume up. This is I found this on TikTok. Somebody's recording it from their phone, and I'm going to play it.
It's just over the cliff of the continental shelf now. Half a mile back, the ocean floor sits a shallow football field below us. But here, right here, underneath our feet, is a full 2 miles of pitch black. So where did that thing come from? Jesus. Jesus is confronted by a man possessed by demons who identify themselves as legion, for we are many. He cast out the demons, who then possess a nearby herd of swine. Immediately, the entire herd goes crazy and commits mass suicide by stampeding down a hillside and off a cliff into the sea. The seas have always belonged to him.
The seas have always belonged to him. Yeah, that's fucking freak. I want to see that movie now. Yeah. You was good. You liked it though?
So I did like it. Watched it with my husband. I'm sure he would remember it too. We did like it. It was just like by the time the ending wrapped the way that it wrapped, I was a little disappointed in the way that they didn't really draw everything together the way that I was hoping they would. Like I wanted more. I was terrified most of the time of the movie because again, like I tell you, I don't do scary movies. And because this thing was like demons and you never really knew what was under the water and all that kind of crap. I was terrified the entire time. Joe thought it was hilarious, but I wanted them to do more with it. Like I wanted more of a conversation about that. Like that one clip was really all they did to kind of reference what was probably really going on. And I just felt like very unsatisfied. Like it was.
Yeah,
sort of like
I can understand. It was like want more story.
It was like edging with no climax. Like I was just sort of, a little disappointed at the end. But it was a good movie. Like it really was. I thought they did a pretty good job considering that it was low budget and everything.
You get the inappropriate bell for talking about edging with no climax. It's very fair. Dominatrix for that. I want to see is Satan. Let me put this one.
They don't call me the fitness mistress for nothing.
I understand. Hang on. Let's see. I want to look. Let me look at ChatGPT and see what this says. Does Satan have dominion over the oceans? Let's see what ChatGPT says. It gives a very safe answer. The concept of Satan having dominion over the oceans is not directly supported by most mainstream theological doctrines in Christianity, Judaism, or Islam. However, interpretations and myth can vary. Some cultures or theological beliefs may associate Satan with certain aspects of nature in the physical world, and then it goes off into folklore, biblical context, and whatnot.
Well, we know that Satan is the prince of this world.
And what is this world covered in?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. There's way more water on this planet than there is land. So let's be real. And then you have things like Leviathan that are referenced in Revelation, which are basically like an underwater
fucking monster. Yeah.
What is the movie? What's the movie with the? I can't talk right now. Like, what is my problem? The movie with the crazy, like, looks like a T-Rex. I can't get Goliath out of my head, but that's not right. It's like a dinosaur, but he's huge.
Clash of the Titans?
No. What's the dinosaur's name that's like breathing fire and he got hit by a nuclear bomb and then that's why he's like ridiculously large?
Godzilla.
Thank you, Godzilla, not Goliath. Thank you.
Close.
Yes. Godzilla. It's like Leviathan. They do this, right? They tell us the truth. It's the law of revelation. Things like Godzilla, I've always seen as being the Hollywood representation of Leviathan.
You gotta say it properly too. Godzilla! Godzilla! Yeah. I have no desire. Like that was Godzilla and King Kong, man. I grew up on that stuff, and I'm not a fan of the new release films of them and whatnot. It's like, all right, dude, shit's stupid animatronics. It's not even animatronics; it's CGI stuff. But that's what I'm thinking. I've said it that when you look at it, right? Because now these UFOs things are coming out, and I want to hear what you have to say about the congressional hearing. But this is how people are. You can take it. They're going to land. The inauguration's going to happen. And there's right before Trump puts his hand on the Bible to take over the peaceful transition of power, you're going to get this giant disc in the air hovering over, and boom, a little green man is going to be on the White House lawn saying, "We've got the cure to cancer. We know how to balance your budget. Believe in us." And people will go, "Yeah, oh my God, we need to accept these people, these aliens." But they refuse to believe in an imaginary man in the sky. It's like, dude, fucking, that's how easily manipulated people are going to be. And it's insane. I just watched.
But I don't even think it's going to be little green men. I think we already have aliens among us. They are extraterrestrials, right? Like they can't really define them, but Hollywood's always shown them to us as these weird, creepy little like green aliens and scary looking monsters. It's really no different than what they've done to Satan from scripture. They've turned him into this hooved, horned, red pitchfork monster to control our psyche around how we see and perceive the reference to Satan. Like when we hear the word Satan, we have been so trained like good little dogs. When we hear the word Satan, that's what we think of. It's the Disney pacified version of what Satan is, when the truth is Satan's the most beautiful being in the entire world, in the entire cosmos, if everything created. He's the most beautiful being. So like we've been programmed in that way. It's no different than the way that they've programmed us with aliens and all that crap to think about ET and little green men and even crazy looking monsters that are going to like probe you to death.
Yeah.
Because that's what they want us to be looking for. They don't want us to know the truth of the spiritual realm and the reality that this is angels and demons. Like aliens are just angels and demons. That's what we're talking about. So I don't think we're going to have like a little green man or a saucer in the sky necessarily, unless Project Bluebeam wants to perpetuate that psychological operation for us.
Yeah, what you just said is true. We talked about this. I asked you this like 6 months ago. I said, what is the possibility we're being programmed to where you are frightened against grotesque, like you ever see infants? It always blows me away. Like people, racism is taught. It's not, it's not learned. It's learned. It's not, you're not born with it. I argue with that, because if you've ever seen an infant with like somebody who doesn't look normal, and that could be a black person if the infant's only known white people, but infants around drag queens, what do? Ugh. If you're infants or younger or people who do not have like missing hands, like you're born with a birth defect, and you've seen it, like toddlers go, ugh. It's like we're programmed that's just for reproductive sakes. You're programmed that way because it's a survival of the fittest, and that's why. Here's a tangent. That's why to get rid of geese. I don't know if anybody ever knew this. If you have a goose problem, like a Canadian goose problem, you either set a bunch of little black flags made out of garbage bag on your front lawn, and the geese don't like that flapping sound. Or how we got rid of them in my police department, they brought over fake statues of geese that had no heads. And the geese did not want to be around the decapitated geese. So if you translate that over, all right, so I'm going to see my favorite horror film, and like demons look like, horns and shaved teeth and all this and rotted skin. And yeah, I'm going to be afraid of that. What did you just say? Yeah. Satan's the most beautiful fucking creature on the fucking history of the planet. And we're not going to shy away from that.
Exactly.
So why do we think demons are that
we're all expecting a fucking horror film to show up as these aliens, right? And then when they actually show up, they look like heroes because they will. What are we all going to do? Oh my gosh. I mean, this is how the fallen angels. I don't think there was a whole lot of convincing going on when they mated with women in Genesis 6.
Dude, no.
There was plenty of WAP going on. for Genesis
Wow.
6 in my opinion.
Plenty of WAP. Wow.
I mean, if a perfect, like, you see how women, let's take Henry Cavill for a second. You see how women lose their mind over men like Henry Cavill.
Okay.
He's played Superman.
Sure.
Right? He's played The Witcher.
Yeah, that's a
it's
great
like
series.
This great series. But the amount of sex appeal in that caricature, right, in that archetype that he plays so well in basically every role I've ever seen him in, that is what, like, I mean, come on, seriously, we could ask ChatGPT to turn Henry Cavill into an angel.
Yeah,
and it would look something like a gold crusted Witcher, probably. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm expecting, is like, we're going to have the quote unquote perfection of heroes descend upon us, and it's going to be demons,
dude.
And nobody's going to know what they're looking at. They're going to think they're looking at their saviors, and they're not. They're looking at slavery.
I wonder the programming though. So I watched Ender's Game on Netflix the other day, and the movie's got to be 10 plus years old, and it's got Harrison Ford in it. And the premise of the game is aliens come to Earth and attack it, and in one battle we actually we fight them off, and they're gone for 50 years. So over the 5 decades of their absence, we have been taking children and training them in like a video game type environment to attack them on their return. So the kid in the movie, this Ender, he's like pressure tested, and turns out that he's like the best of all of them. And Harrison Ford's agenda is he's like the bad guy that you don't really think is the bad guy. And he's put in a position to have Ender eliminate this race of aliens before they come back and do damage to us. And these are like giant, like locust monsters. And fucking just in true fashion, like Hollywood, Ender finds one of the aliens. And they've got a queen that hasn't been born yet in an egg. So he takes the egg and he steals a ship. And the close of the movie is he's going to help them continue their species and fly it to another planet, instead of fucking wiping out the threat, right? Big, strong men who take care of business are the bad guys in the world, and empathetic little soy boys are the heroes. That's how we have it. Right. I typed in Beast from the Sea in a search for YouTube, and yeah, we got a bunch of stuff, but one of the things we get is the Sea Beast, which it looks like an animated film 2 years ago from Netflix. And I'm looking at the preview for it. And it's exactly what you think it is. Big, scary, horrible beast. But the little girl from the film befriends it. And they're all, yeah, he's really not here to hurt us. I have to wonder how much predictive programming they're trying to get our kids going to where, right, when the aliens come or the satanic things come, don't be afraid of them. Go run to them. And if you back that up, that even gives you more proof about the trans agenda, where clear-cut masculinity and femininity, no, that's not. You need to find the deformed, the warped, right, the blue-haired, fat,
well, look
obese.
At Beauty and the Beast. This is a tale as old as time.
Angela Lansbury. That was 1992. I don't know if I was in high school when that came out. Yeah. Cartoon Belle. 3. We were all like, oh my God, she's hot. She's fucking, yeah. Don't be afraid of this. Don't, right. Some creatures are big and scary for a fucking reason, because they'll tear your goddamn head off and eat your family.
But look at the resolution of Beauty and the Beast, where the beast turns into what?
A prince.
A hero. A beautiful.
Wow, didn't see that one.
It's the same program. There again, like, there's nothing new under the sun. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's a pattern recognition thing. I am not a prophet. I am not a psychic. It's just I recognize certain patterns.
It's all right there, dude.
It's all right there. And they when you have eyes to see and ears to hear, they tell us They have to. That is spiritual law of revelation. They have to tell us. Whether we can understand it or not isn't their problem.
No, we understand it. Yeah, see, Maddie Wack agrees with me. The Kraken is the water creature of Greek mythology. That was
Is Maddie watching?
Yeah, it's Clash of the Titans.
Yeah, Clash of the Titans.
And then you go to the Greek island where there's nonstop anal. Did you ever hear the joke? How do you separate the men from the boys in Greece?
I don't know if this sounds familiar.
With a crowbar.
Maybe you've told it to me before. A crowbar?
With a crowbar.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Yeah. Well, all right, let me see if you sent anything else that was. Oh, no, I want to hear. Did you? So you saw the congressional hearing on the aliens. What did they tell us?
Yeah, I saw some clips, and basically the thing that really stuck out to me is what I sent you, because I was like, I was cleaning the house and stuff, and I was listening to it in the background. And when they mentioned the ocean thing, I was like, oh my God, because this is what we've talked about before, like with that movie and talking about the pigs getting thrown into the ocean and the water and Leviathan. I was like, yeah, it makes perfect sense. Look at how much surface area of our world we don't know anything about, like how deep the ocean goes.
Yeah, 2 miles of Mariana Trench.
We don't know. There's so much about our planet that we don't know, don't understand. What's in Antarctica? What's under Antarctica? Like there's so much there that I just find it very interesting timing wise. Now we're like starting World War III. Who's going to come save us? I don't think it's going to be Trump. You know what I mean?
No, God, no. I'm looking at.
What are they prepping our minds for? All of this is a show. Like the congressional hearing is not any different than one of these movies that we're talking about, giving us a revelation. They have to tell us.
Yeah, some of the cool. I can't remember where I heard it, but Rob Skiba, who we watch this stuff quite a bit.
Yeah.
He actually showed like if you take latitude, longitude. And he does it. He can find 666 in everything. Like I guess the human genome is 666, and he showed in one of his videos. Yeah,
it's the number of a man.
It blows me away. It's like he shows her in 666 latitude and longitude is like we're in the Middle East where like the angels were thrown out. But I saw another video years ago that talked about how no, Antarctica is where the fallen angels landed. And it's like supposed to be fucking green there, and there's actually a rainforest there, and that kind of maybe a little bit coincide to the theory of the flat earthers being kind of valid. I'm like, dude, just what the?
Well, I wonder about Antarctica being the Garden of Eden that is guarded by an angel with a flaming sword. So therefore, this is why no one can really enter.
Could you imagine? Like you get, and I have a feeling that's why AI is so incredibly accurate. So when you see somebody who sits there and he's got a video of this fucking 25-foot giant with a flaming sword, you're like, oh man, that's some great AI. No, dude, I was right there. I was live streaming. Yeah, not some great AI. AI has made this insane jump. Go ahead.
Oh God, insane. Yeah. Elon again tells us the truth. AI is the most dangerous thing, the most dangerous tool imaginable. And I truly do believe he's right. So, I think AI is another aspect of this psychological warfare and predictive programming that they're doing with us to where we can't even trust our own eyes. Because by the time that we see what's real, we've already seen a version of it in AI, in movies, in Project Bluebeam, whatever. So we're not even going to question it, basically.
No, you're going to swallow what you're told like everything else. Oh my God, can you imagine the MAGA crowd being like told, no, the mark of the beast is good. I say so. Trump's like, yeah, okay, we'll take it. They
already did it with Operation Warp Speed.
Well, that's a litmus test. How many people are going to obey? Matt and Scott brought information on the show, and I don't know if you knew about this. The whole cryptocurrency. Apparently, Trump wants to, I don't know, move the cryptocurrency. He put Elon and Vivek Ramaswamy in charge of Department of Government Efficiency, Doge. Elon's
Dogecoin.
Why would anybody allow a department to be named after a fucking coin that he created already? It's like,
I know.
Oh my God.
And I don't hear anybody talking about it. Like,
No.
it's definitely not mainstream. I'm like, excuse me, wasn't that the coin's name? Like, what are we doing? That's strange. I mean, I'm all for them getting in there and ripping up the government. Don't get me wrong. But like, why are they calling it Doge? It's ironic to me. I think, again, it's another predictive programming thing. They don't do anything by accident. Everything is orchestrated.
So tired of this. So-and-so's going to clean up the Congress. And well, they just put in some female after Matt Gaetz removes himself, which is a political joke. And, oh yeah, she's awesome. She's going to clean out Washington, D.C. No, she's not. Watch like everything else. She's going to get right in and nothing's going to get done. How many people?
Who is it? I didn't see.
I don't remember her name.
Okay.
How many people though? What was his fucking name? Who was the guy with the real thick, dense ginger goatee and glasses who was doing the investigation for Trump? I can't remember his name, but people all over the internet would take like his photo and like redden his eyes, or Bill Barr, and they would put like these Bill Barr activated. I can't remember his fucking name. The guy, there was only like 3 photographs of him ever, and everyone's like, he's gonna expose all these pedophile elites, and whatever happened, nothing. No,
yeah,
so
exactly.
I'm so tired.
Well, it's the same thing as like the JFK files, right? Like Trump promised to release the entirety of the JFK files in his first campaign back in 2016, and then he only released partials because once he got into the files and realized everything that was involved, he agreed to redact most of it until a later date. And now he's promising again that he's going to release all the JFK files when he gets into office this time. And I'm just like, okay, maybe he will, maybe now's the time. But at the end of the day,
no, he won't.
Guys, like this is still, and I told you this weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks ago during the election process, where I was basically like, these are 2 wings of the same bird. And the project here is the enemy camp, okay, wants the end of the world to come about. And then the God's team, we know the end of the world is going to come about in his timeline for his kingdom's glory, right? But the enemy wants the same thing, just not the same result. They want the same event, the end of the world, but for their purposes, again, the inversion, right, of God's design, because Satan counterfeits, he doesn't create. So the inversion of God's design is what they're after. So like we're not avoiding anything. We're just taking a different street.
It just blows. That's a great fucking explanation, because you get all these Christians who think that by electing Daddy Trump is going to stop shit.
Oh, yeah, it's not going to, I don't believe it's going to stop shit.
He's going to
call me black-pilled. Yeah. Call me black-pilled if you want. But
being
I don't
realist?
think it's it's not going to stop shit because Trump is not God.
Here's the question. Do you want shit to stop?
Well,
I don't.
I would like shit to stop in the context of our creator returns and set things right.
Well, there's some shit that needs to happen for it. So there's
some shit that needs to happen.
It's 3.5 years of living fucking hell on earth and being stung by giant scorpions, and you wish you were dead, but you don't die. I don't want that to happen, but it's got to happen. So I'm like, yeah, kind of fuck it. What if it happens? You don't get raptured. It's like, fuck, I gotta, fuck it, 3.5 years. How can I avoid giant fucking scorpions for 3.5 years? It's like, dude, I gotta be on my A game. I better increase my fucking cardio.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna sting you and you're not gonna die, but you're gonna wish you were dead. It's like, that sounds pretty fucking brutal.
Reasons why I don't appreciate the I don't appreciate the gaslighting and the bypassing that's happened in the church to where everyone's programmed to expect to be raptured and not have to do anything.
Right. Oh, that's Christian. I can't tell you how many Christians I've known over the years. Some real shitty human beings. They're saved. That's all they have to do. They're saved.
I don't have to worry about. I mean, it's gonna get bad, but the whole point is I'm gonna be out of here before it gets bad. God's not gonna allow his bride to be beat up before the wedding. And I listen. I love that mentality. Like, there's definitely a part of me that loves that mentality, and I agree. But it doesn't mean that you're gonna be completely, like, again, there's a lot of arguments for
whatever you do to the least of my children, you do unto me. Right. Hey, you're a piece of shit. Fucking, you're not saved. I'm not gonna help you. And Christ comes back. Yeah. You know that thing that you didn't do for your neighbor because you hated him? Yeah, that was me too. So get the fuck out of my face. Yeah. Get the fuck. Yeah. Faith without works is dead. That's it. Right. Faith without works is dead.
Right. Ugh. You have to walk by faith, not just wait by faith. Like, inaction is a sin. Sin just means missing the mark. If you're not walking by faith, taking aligned action in a direction of purpose, that is missing the mark, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's always like,
nobody wants to hear that. Like, you talked earlier about, responsibility with nutrition, taking responsibility, eating responsibly. It's like, oh God, don't talk to a group of Christian women sitting around with their 3,000 calorie Starbucks for Bible study. Don't tell them that. They're all 50 pounds overweight and haven't had sex with their husbands for 20 months.
Criticizing people who get abortions without sitting there teaching their daughters to keep their fucking legs closed.
Yeah. Like, the amount of hypocrisy, the amount of ignorance is tragic. And that is what is distracting people from the truth that it is in plain sight.
There's your Friday show. Nice and eye-opening for those who are looking for a little bit of going into the weekend and being like, yay, I'm going to go tackle this week. No, you're not. Get your head straight. FlexYourFeminine.com. If you are looking to change your diet and you're a female, getting your feminine hormones, fitness, go check them out. FlexYourFeminine.com. Do not forget also, Burn Pit Podcast, Report and Opine. Shannon Joy. I've been talking to Shannon Joy. She's probably going to come on and have some conversations with us. Pete Santilli and more. Evening Rants. I was on them the other night. Go check them out. Spreely.tv, Spreely.com. Kayla, anything you want to plug at all aside from Flex Your Feminine?
You guys just go be smart, be wise, be discerning, love on each other.
Okay. I can get with that one. Whatever. Fuck, it is what it is. Guys, go have an awesome weekend. Go help somebody today. If you can't help them, just don't hurt them. It's as pretty simple as that. Don't be a piece of shit. And carnivore diet. Check it out. It's actually life-changing. So I'll keep you updated on my progress. Got to get down to 220 so I can fit in my pants again.
That's the goal.
Okay. See you guys later on. Have a great weekend.